All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews, and I want to first thank Chatterbox Reviews for reviewing this because I didn't know it was out yet. And what we're talking about tonight is What We Do in the Shadows, Season 1, Episode 1. It is the pilot episode of this show based on the Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement movie from New Zealand a few years ago. That is one of my favorite movies. I think it is just absolutely hilarious, and they developed it into a TV show that is set in America. It is still, the first episode is written by Jermaine Clement, and it's directed by Taika Waititi, and that's all you really need. I mean, I shouldn't have to say any more. If you don't know that it's good at that by me just saying that, then I don't know what else to tell you, but it is. It is fantastic. It is just as good as the movie. I mean, and what I really like is that it's not relying on any kind of star power. What We Do in the Shadows may be a movie that a lot of people haven't heard of, but when you hear about like who's in it, you know, like everybody knows Taika Waititi now because of Thor Ragnarok, and people know Jermaine Clement. If you don't know who Jermaine Clement is, Flight of the Conchords, you know, Gentlemen Broncos, What We Do in the Shadows. He's really, really great. And it just continues to be fantastic here, and I really like what they did. And one of the things, like I was trying to say before, was what I really like is it doesn't rely on the star power. We get a bunch of actors that we don't really know, so that way we can just appreciate the writing and the story and the acting, because everybody's really good in this, even though I don't really know anybody except for one person. One's really familiar, one I know for sure, and the rest is just kind of like I've never really seen these people before unless it's pointed out to me what they've been in before that I would have seen. And I really do want to point them out. Like these actors are really great. You got Kayvan Novak as Nandor, Harvey Guillen as Guillermo, Natasha Demetriou, man, I don't know how to say that, not as Nadja, Matt Berry. He's one I recognize him, but I can't remember from what. He plays Laszlo. Doug Jones plays the Baron in this. This guy, I was like, oh my God, that is so fantastic. But the other one I know for sure is Mark Proksch. Man, I can't. Why is everybody's name so hard right now? Mark Proksch. K-S-C-H. Wow, that's a handle. But I know him from The Office. He was one of the guys in the warehouse, and he was on Better Call Saul. He was the guy trying to sell his company's pharmaceuticals to Nacho. And he's a pretty funny guy, and he's really good. He is great in this. The scenes from the commercials don't really do it justice with this guy. I mean, he's like the vampire that nobody wants to be around, but he's kind of like the most powerful one. And that's what's really great is that, you know, they treat him kind of like a bummer, but really they don't want him around because he's way better than them. Like his powers are way more powerful. And the way that they do the eyeballs when he's like using his powers, his energy vampire powers, is great. And I mean, come on, an energy vampire who sucks the energy out of you by boring you to death. It's just fantastic. And nobody dies. So, I mean, he gets his power without killing people. I mean, it's kind of like a new wave, even though he's like supposedly the most, his kind of vampire is the most prevalent. And when he says, you know, you probably know one, that's a really great joke. But anyway, I mean, it's basically the same thing. A documentary crew is following around these vampires, except this time, instead of one of the vampires being our host or the guy who walks us through this world, this one's a familiar named Guillermo, and he's been the familiar for Nandor for 10 years, and he thinks that this is going to be the time that Nandor is going to make him a vampire. So you know that that's not going to happen just because somebody's looking forward to something that much. They also have this Baron coming that everybody's really excited for, especially Nandor, who wants to throw a party, and he gets creepy paper. He thinks crepe paper is pronounced creepy. Just little touches, all these little things that made the movie great are all in here. The sense of humor. Look, it's not for everybody. But if this is up your alley, then you are really gonna like this. So yeah, what else we got? We got Nadia and Laszlo, and they're like a couple from like way back. The story behind how he got turned and everything is so fucking hilarious. I mean, everything that's out of their mouths is like horrifying, but they say it with such whatever. It's just the way it is. Like I love it. But now that they've been together for a really long time, she's kind of stepping out and looking for this guy that's her reincarnated lover from a long time ago. But it's just a guy. They live in this like romanticized world themselves, which is great because we romanticize vampires and they're romanticizing us, especially like Nandor wanting to put on glitter so he can be like Twilight, her thinking that this guy is her reincarnated lover from a long time ago. Like their thinking is just kind of in the past still, but like, I don't know, they romanticize themselves. The scene where they kill the guy in the park, holy fucking shit, that was hilarious. Oh my God. I wondered like, oh man, this is dark, but then they make it funny even though it's still dark. I mean, the blood, like, full spoilers, I guess. I don't know if I said that, and I always do, but I got so excited to talk about this, I think I forgot. So the blood just coming down on that poor lady, holy fuck. Just excellent. The LARPing where they go to get the virgins. I don't kill people, I just find people that are easy to kill. And yeah, there's so many lines in this. Well, then they get the Baron. I love that their hands don't work on like pads, like, and they think everything's such a big deal that we take for granted. Then they finally get this Baron out, and I gotta say, legit, like that opening and the eyes and just how he moves in his crate, because they get Doug Jones to do this. He's such a physical actor. He's so great at moving in that kind of like creature way, and he's absolutely horrifying, but also, the same as them, where it's not like if were real vampires, they wouldn't have conversations that are just kind of like, hello, how are you? Like, they wouldn't just be talking in voices like this, and being super powerful. That's one of the things that's great about this, is it takes this supernatural, scary, horrifying thing and makes it mundane, to them anyway. But we didn't get to see the werewolves in this, but I'm not upset about that. I'm gonna let each episode happen. I think it's 10 episodes this year. I hope people start watching it. I hope this is something that gets picked up for like multiple seasons. But just fantastic. Guillermo does not get turned into a vampire. He gets a glitter poster of him and Nandor as friends. But in the picture, he was turned into a vampire, which is just great. Nice little touch on that. He only thinks that Guillermo's been working there for 2 years. It's 10. He just kind of goes, yeah, oh, wow. Like, but I do love that turn at the end, though, where Guillermo is now kind of like, you know what? This guy might not have my best interests at heart, even though it's pretty messed up that you want to do what he does. But people want immortality. I guess if it was a real thing, who knows what we'd do to stay alive, I guess, ish, undead. But then he opens the curtains a little bit, lets it burn, lets it sit on the coffin a little bit until he says goodnight, and then he closes the curtain back on him. But, it shows that this guy's, he's not just going to be a one-note character, that it looks like he will have an arc that, kind of maybe he's getting pushed into not wanting to be a familiar anymore, maybe. And the very, very end, when the place that they nailed up so that the light wouldn't come through, I love that at the very end it comes down, and like now when the Baron comes out, he's going to get burned the fuck up. Is there anything else I want to say? All I can say is the writing is there, the acting is there, even the song at the beginning is still there from the movie, so that's great. I'm glad that they're not throwing in too much music over things. I'm glad that they're treating it kind of like The Office in a way where there's no soundtrack until it's specifically needed. Who else is in here or anything else? Bridge and Tunnel Vampire. I think we've covered pretty much everything we need to for this pilot episode, but just, you got to check it out. Anybody on my channel, this is a high recommendation. If you have not seen the movie, see the movie. You can catch it on Amazon. If you don't have to see the movie to appreciate it, but I think that the world gets explained a little bit better in the movie. To set up the show, so that way you can kind of already know, because this kind of just jumps right into that world a little bit. Not too much. It's still not quite a necessary thing to watch the movie, but it just helps a little. So anyway, that's it. That's the pilot episode of this. I can't wait to watch this next week, the second episode. I will be returning to review this. I was going to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight, but then I saw this, and so this took priority. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying thanks for watching this. Thanks for all the support, everybody that's been joining the channel lately, and have a great night.